My name is Matthew Black. I grew up here in Toronto. I went to Saginaw Valley State University, and I'm currently playing for the Toronto Argonauts, going to my 6th year with the team. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself and then how I ended up going to school down south. I grew up right downtown at Jarvis and Dundas, and then I was very fortunate to go to Northern Secondary School, and that's where my whole experience or idea of going to school down south kind of came to fruition and grew legs. The best advice I can give to the students right now is to take advantage of these opportunities that you're already here and match up with a guidance counselor at your school. That's where I kind of learned about all the opportunities that the NCAA holds at first. Was my guidance counselor. I tapped his brain. So use your resources at your school and ask if there's been any other students in your similar situation that have gone to school in the United States. Just by a show of hands, how many people here are interested or looking at the possibility of an athletic scholarship? Okay, so a little more than the other side. So for me, I was very fortunate. I went to school on a football scholarship, and I went to a school in a very, very small town. Growing up in the middle of downtown Toronto, I'll never forget this experience. On my official visit, my father drove me down. It was only 4.5 hours away, so it wasn't too bad. And when you get off the highway to go to Saginaw, you drive through some cornfields at first. And I just saw cornfield after cornfield after cornfield. And I was looking at my dad thinking like, what's going on here? Where are we? And then out of nowhere came the football stadium and the football field and and the baseball diamond. And then, I kind of started to feel like, okay, this place might be it for me. And I think that's a very important part of, the NCAA experience is taking the visits. Like Jennifer said, having the opportunity to see these campuses, because a lot of the times you're going to see them on TV, different schools, and you're not going to really see the surrounding communities and how it's going to relate to you. So for me, one of the best things that I ever did in life was go away to school. I think one of the best things as a young adult that you can do for yourself is to go away to school and to be on your own. I'm kind of preaching to the choir here because everyone here is obviously interested in going away to school in the United States. But when I speak to kids, I often ask them, why they don't go to school in the United States, and I hear a lot of the times that they're scared, they're nervous, they're not sure of what it's going to be like down there. And you know what? For me personally, I feel like you're going to do more. You do more growth when you're on your own and you spread your wings and you fly a little bit, so to speak. The friends and the people that I met down at school in the United States, they're going to be friends for life. But one of the best things that I learned when I was away at school is just to value the things that I held dear and near to me. When you go down there, and I think something that every person that goes to school in the United States needs to be prepared for is the culture shock. It's a totally different society. It's a totally different culture. You have to be prepared for that because it is a different way of life, and it's something that you should be aware of. But you know what? In that time, in that transition period, you're going to learn and grow a lot, and you're going to learn and grow more, and you're going to learn more about yourself than I feel you would staying here or staying close to home. One thing that I do want to talk to you guys and hit on for the people that are athletes is you have to understand the severity of what you're getting yourself into. When you go to school in the United States on athletic scholarship, you have to understand that you are there not only to be a student, but to be an athlete and to compete. Your scholarship is not valuable unless you're competing and you are performing at a certain level and a certain standard. I'll never forget my very first game when I was at school in the United States. We were the number 1 ranked Division II football team in the country. We lost our very first game to our in-town rival, Northwood University, that was about 30 miles down the road. Our defensive back coach looked at the film of that game, and when we had our first meeting after the game, he told us point blank to our faces that if you guys continue to play like this, I will not have a job. My family will not eat. And that was brought the severity and the seriousness of the NCAA to my front door. You have to understand that the schools make a lot of money and that the coaches are making a lot of money, and this is how they feed their family. So not only are you going to be expected to be on the top of your academic game and stay eligible with the NCAA rules, but you're also going to be required to compete at a very high level. If that's something that you're interested in and that's something that drives you, the NCAA is the perfect environment for you. You'll thrive in that environment. You'll thrive in the competition. And the lessons that you do learn from your time there will be invaluable for the rest of your life. One of the things that our coaches used to say to us all the time is you may not always be the biggest, you may not always be the strongest, and you may not always be the fastest, but you can always be the hardest worker and to control the factors in life that you can control. And that's one of the biggest takeaways that I took from my time with my coaches at school at Saginaw, was the fact that, there's going to be a lot of uncontrollable factors in life. But if you work hard and you're dedicated to your goals and your craft, you will be a successful individual. And for me, I just want to speak to the parents quickly. It's important as a parent to give your kids roots, but it's also very important to give your kids wings. And I say that easily now because I have a 22-month-old daughter that isn't going to go away to school anytime soon, but I'm sure when she's 18 and she tells me she wants to go to school on the other side of the country, I'll be a little more nervous. It may be nerve-wracking, it may be overwhelming to think that you're sending your child to school in California, Texas, Michigan, wherever it is in the United States, but the opportunities that your child will have going to school away from you are going to be valuable for them for the rest of their life. They're going to learn and grow and see a perspective on life that you may not have the opportunity to give them. And the things that they do learn in that time, may shape them to be an amazing person in ways that you cannot give them. So for me, I really, applaud the parents that are here today that have taken the time to come and bring your kids here, because this is a great opportunity for students. I know it can be a very big financial commitment, but, talk to some of the schools here and ask about alternatives just to athletic scholarships, because I know at my school there was a lot of different opportunities for international students, and as well as, just writing scholarships, for writing letters into different funds for ethnic minorities, religious groups, different opportunities and avenues to access some money that can help and can add up. And a vast majority of that money does go unclaimed every year. And I know that, Saginaw was not the only school that had these opportunities as well. So with that, I want to thank you guys very much for your time. I encourage you, like I said, to explore the opportunities, in the NCAA and American schools, because I think it is, time well spent and an investment in your future. So with that, thank you very much and have a great day.